It's my pleasure to introduce you to Ashley Fent, who is here with me in Seattle, Washington. Ashley is working with Oikos Credit this summer for the Summer of Microfinance house parties, and she's received a lot of questions from our internet and Twitter pages, and maybe you want to share some of those.
David, thank you for the introduction, Terry. The first question I have relates to your earlier statement about Oikos Credit signing the transparency protocol to make interest rates public. Several emails that I've gotten have asked about interest rates specifically. Can you tell me what kind of interest rate Oikos Credit charges its borrowers?
Yeah, as you may know, this has been a real controversy within microcredit, especially with some articles that have been released in the last couple of months, and something really important to Oikos Credit. And we think by a more open and public discussion, a more transparent discussion about interest rates, that the market will somehow find the best way and the most affordable way to offer credit to poor people. First of all, Oikos Credit makes loans to the actual microfinance institutions. We fund the microcredit banks, and we have a criteria for what kind of microcredit bank we support. We're especially strong in the rural area where 70% of the world's people live. We make loans to them and charge between 7 and 9% to the MFI institution. The average loan rate that we charge to a microcredit bank in our 70 countries is about 7.8%. Then those microcredit banks on-lend to the micro borrowers in their communities. They know the people in those communities, and they make loans, we monitor and watch, roughly at 1.5 to 3% each month, or 18 to 36% on an annual basis. Now, one reason why microcredit is a little more expensive is because it takes a lot of labor to deliver microcredit. It's not like people come into the bank. The bank actually goes, and the loan officer actually goes to the communities, especially in rural areas, so you have a little more cost. But we think, and agree with Mohammed Yunus, if you start to get above that scale, then you probably are getting more money from poor people than actually helping poor people. So that's the range for the interest rates that we charge.
Thank you. Another question that I received is, how do I know that my money is safe?
Well, one of the strengths of Oikos Credit is that it actually has offices in the global south, in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Unlike a lot of organizations that are based in the north and they move in for 48 hours and move back to do their due diligence, we have people on the ground, and those funds are raised separately from our investment fund. We receive donations for our operating costs, and therefore we work very cooperatively with the projects, the cooperatives, and the microcredit banks that borrow our money. So because of that relationship, we have a very high payback rate from the people who use our money. The other thing is, we don't just work in one country like some funds do. We don't just work with one kind of microcredit bank. We work with cooperatives and fair trade organizations and even small and medium enterprises. So we make loans available to a variety of organizations. We make loans to 71 countries, and within those countries to even dozens of projects. So if one or two of these go bad, it doesn't threaten the entire organization, all of its dispersed loans. And that's how we manage risk so well, which is why our investors have always received annual interest and their full investment, their full principal upon redemption.
Great. The final question I have for you is that you mentioned Oikos Credit's outstanding social performance. How do you measure your social impact and your success?
You know, it used to be that all we could do would be tell stories, like the one of Corazon Andonela, that the narrative, if you will, was sort of the form of statistics. But now we know that we want to be able to be sure that the loans are really helping people, and our investors want to be guaranteed that the social and moral reward of investing in Oikos Credit is achieved and actualized. As a result, we've set up our own social performance department. We're using metrics to help measure nutrition, education, and housing. We work cooperatively, for example, with the Grameen Foundation in what is called the PPI, the Progress Out of Poverty Index. We also have another tool that comes from France called CERIS, which we've adapted in some of our countries as well. So we're now aggregating and collecting information. We're empowering the microcredit institutions that we support with tools so that the loan officers can learn more about how the loan is benefiting the family and in what conditions. So in this way, we are collecting information, and in June of 2010, we're issuing our first formal report on social performance. All the information that we've discussed here is available from our website, how to invest, how to learn more about microcredit, how to learn how to help microcredit. We invite the listeners to go there.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Terry, for sharing OicoCredit's story and a couple stories about borrowers with us today. I know that everyone watching tonight also has a story about how you became interested in global development and poverty issues. I'm glad your experiences and your interests have directed you to OicoCredit, and I encourage you to share your story with us and contribute however you can to OicoCredit and the movement that we're building. Go to our community hub at oicocredithub.org and our website at oicocreditusa.org to find out more information and learn how you can get involved. This could be anything from joining the hub as a community member, becoming a community leader and hosting your own house party, or investing in OicoCredit. We thank you for joining us tonight and for contributing however you can to our continued social impact in women's empowerment, fair trade, community building, and poverty alleviation.